Daily Lock, Tuesday, the 24th of May. We're breaking down DFS. We're breaking down betting. And we want you to like, subscribe to the channel so we can do this every single day and bring more content for free. We also got an expert chat. So if you ever want to chat us up, ask us some questions, hop in that expert chat at Win Daily on Discord, windailysports.com. Like and subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. But we're here, myself and Dave, to break down Tuesday's slate of MLB. And Dave, I can sell you on any single pitcher almost on this slate. I can sell you on Burns. I can sell you on Cease, Bassett, Gausman, Gallen. Probably not Buehler because I'm not really a Buehler fan, but they're going against Washington. Maybe not Max Fried, maybe not Logan Webb, but there's some guys down here. There are so many pitchers here that have a spot. Sonny Gray against Detroit. Kirby in a bounce back spot against Oakland. I can at least pitch 5, 6, 7 guys and feel confident on DraftKings. And I think this is a slate to enter some more lineups because there's so much pitching up top that you got to get that combination right. But who's your favorite on Tuesday night?
Obviously he's the top guy, but it's a guy like Corbin Burns. He's a guy that's just been on fire this year. We know, his K rate is just ridiculous. Coming off that Cy Young season, I don't think he's disappointing. Yeah, his FIP's probably a little bit higher, right around a run higher than his normal ERA. But here's a guy that, has had some success against San Diego in the past. It's a small sample size. We get that. But the one that stands out to me, 42% K rate and 50 bats, that's pretty impressive. So I think the Ks are still going to flow in. And I think that's really what we're looking for with a top-end pitcher. If we're going to pay up, we need those Ks. So Burns does excite me, especially in that park, too. You got to remember, and I think I've been out to San Diego. I've seen games in that park. The ball just doesn't fly quite a bit. It's out near, I guess the ocean, you could say, but it's out near the water. So it's a bigger park. I think Corbin will show up tomorrow. Milwaukee's been pitching tremendous. I mean, I think we all know that. Lauer's been fantastic. I think Corbin keeps it rolling tomorrow. I would roster him in many of my lineups.
Yeah, when you look at Vegas as a hint, because they do a lot of research themselves, not that they're always right, but that's the lowest over-under on the board as of right now at 6.5 with Burns and Snell. Burns is the favorite, minus 136 right now. So there's a lot of reasons to like Burns out there. The power from Machado's on the right side here, tougher matchup against Burns. So I think it's a great spot for Burns. Dylan Cease, man, paying people left and right. 9 Ks, 11 Ks, 8 Ks, 11 Ks, 9 Ks. Last 5 starts. These are against good teams. KC, New York, Boston, LA, and KC again. The game he faced Boston not too long ago, on the 7th of May, 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 8 Ks, 21 points. He didn't get the win in that game, even though they did win that game. He just didn't last long enough to get that victory. Cease is in play too. Bassett, I really don't like targeting San Fran too much, but it's a pitcher's park again. He's got the K upside. He's been pretty consistently over 20, only 2 starts or 3 starts if you count 19.2. 3 starts in the entire year where he's gone less than 20 DK. You get a slight discount. And then Gausman, even though he let me down last game, it was the only down game he had the entire year. He still squeaked out 8.5. Toronto against St. Louis. St. Louis, another team that can hit, but they have more trouble facing righties. So I think Gausman's in play as well. And then Zach Gallen, man. Like, how high are you on Zach Gallen and Gausman? Because I don't think they'll be probably pitched as much as Burns and possibly Cease, but these guys are going to be in the Cy Young talk at the end of the year if they stay healthy. Thoughts on Gausman and Gallen?
Gausman is almost a blind start anymore. I mean, he leads the league in WAR from Fangraphs at 2.4 already this season, and he's got a wide margin. The next pitcher near him is Skubal at 1.7. I mean, it's a wide margin. And then a lot of that has to do with his K rate, but also, I mean, he's sitting there with a FIP at 1.26. It's people are getting a little lucky with the batting average. Balls in play. For those of you that subscribe to that, he's upwards of over 350. So there's still some room for him to improve. St. Louis is a team that, I'm not that bad. I don't mind attacking them, especially from the right side. All their power. Arenado's had a great year. Goldschmidt's great. But when you got a guy that can throw that nasty slider and have some heat coming in too, I think he can neutralize that. So I'm in on Gausman. I like where you're going as well on Gallen. That KC lineup, we always try and attack. We talked about last week, one of the 3-4 that we attack. And I wouldn't ignore Fried. And the reason I say that is I'm a Phillies fan, obviously, but the left-handed pitching, you mentioned it. Urias had a good game against them recently. They still are 5th in K rate against lefties, 26%, and Harper's back, so that adds another potential K in there. So I think Fried is in play as well in that range, those 3 that you talked about.
Yeah, you can throw Walker Buehler there too. Washington is terrible. They are one of the worst hitting lineups. Even Soto, not really doing much. Him and Bell, the only 2 bats that instill any kind of fear in guys like Walker Buehler. But Buehler's not scared of him. He's been a little bit up and down, but he also has that high ceiling, 5-1. You know the Dodgers are probably going to win. It's more in Dave Roberts than anything else here, but the guy has 25, 40-point upside if he goes complete game like he did against Arizona. So he's already pitched, 108 pitches, 91, 98, 92. So his pitch count is up. You can definitely go back to Walker Buehler. His Ks have been down so far this year. So you got to worry about that a little bit, paying the price of 9,200, but he's definitely in play. After that, this mid-range, don't really want to touch it. I don't want to touch Logan Webb. I don't want to touch Gray versus the Dodgers. I don't want to really touch Valdez versus Cleveland. Montgomery versus Baltimore for 8,000. I'd rather pay up and get another ace, above 9,000. I'd probably have to go all the way down. I'm not getting burned by Syndergaard again. Too inconsistent for me at 7,100. The guy that I would take a shot at, there's 2 guys here. One is Sonny Gray that I think goes out there and gets you 20 against Detroit. He's got the pedigree. He can go out there and do it. Nice value at 6,800. And then the second guy that I'm willing to give another shot to is George Kirby.
Yes.
Impressive in his first start. Struggle against the Mets, but the Mets have been hitting, and struggle against Boston, and Boston's been one of the hottest hitting teams in his last start. So I think he goes back home, gets a soft matchup in Oakland. He takes those bumps and bruises against the 2 tough teams, and he bounces back at $6,000. He's the guy that I probably go to for value if it's not, Sonny Gray. Those are my 2 value guys, though. Sonny Gray, Kirby, and then I'm going up top with the rest of the guys that we mentioned. Thoughts on Gray and Kirby?
Yeah, I love them both. I mean, I would attack the Gray matchup. I think he's a little undervalued, especially coming into the season. He's still kind of getting his feet wet. He's only had 4, 5 starts so far, and he's gotten better. He's averaged 20 points, just about DK points in his past 3, so he's definitely getting better. Good value there against Detroit, and obviously, I'm in love with George Kirby tomorrow. I'm with you, 6,000. His one great start this year was at home versus a decent Tampa Bay team. Went 6 innings, shutout ball, 7 Ks. Probably a little more comfort there, and then you get Oakland, and I really like Kirby in that matchup too. So I'm on board with both your value plays. Probably more in the Kirby side.
Yeah, I agree. The upside's there with Kirby. So that's probably the way to go. Go with Gray or Kirby and then pay up top with one of the aces that we mentioned, whether it's Corbin Burns, Dylan Cease, Bassett, Gausman, Gallen, or Buehler, and maybe even Max Fried. So everybody above 9,000 is in my player pool. And those 2 guys we just mentioned are also my player pool. I'm basically removing the entire middle under 9K all the way to under, above 7K. That mid-range is out of my player pool on DraftKings. Now, when we're talking about teams to stack, stacking is so important in DFS. You want to get at least 4 or 5 guys in your lineup from one lineup on DraftKings and FanDuel. Won't win out every single day, but that's what we preach in our expert chat at WinDailySports.com. Same thing in our articles. And we have a ton of free content, whether you're in our chat, on our website at WinDailySports.com. You can get a lot of free content and the knowledge you need to turn your love of sports into a profit center. Now, talking about stacks, the first target I go to is Minnesota. They're going against Brieske here. They've been hitting. They've been hitting a bunch. He had a rough start in his last start against Tampa Bay. He's given up home runs, 2 in his last game, then 0, then 2, 1, and 2. So the power is there in Minnesota. They got some big bats in Buxton, Correa, Kepler, Arias. There's guys that can hit. They're feisty. They're putting up a bunch of runs here in Minnesota. So Minnesota is a team that I'm going to go look to target. And then as much as I do respect Zimmerman, I think he's a good
I'm with
pitcher. He's a good pitcher, but he's been struggling against the Yankees in his 2 starts. So it's Yankee Stadium. Judge and Stanton and the boys are kind of hitting him hard, and they're hitting Baltimore hard every time they see this team. So they're confident up there. So those are the 2 guys that I want to stack against. Thoughts about the Yankees and the Twins here?
Love them both. I was on the Yankees as well. He's seen the Yankees 3 times at Zimmerman.
Yeah.
One good start early in the season. Last 2, 9 runs in 9.1 innings. You know what this lineup can do, especially from the right side with Judge, Stanton. If Donaldson, it's up in the air if he plays, but you still got enough guys that they can just continue to roll out there and pound Zimmerman. I think some of his soft stuff is starting to get caught up on. We've seen his low K rate and everything. I think everybody's starting to catch up a little bit. So I love the Yankees tomorrow. I like your Twins too. I think Kepler hit a grand slam last night. He's on fire. Buxton's back in. He was out a little bit over the weekend. So good attack there. And I also like Houston. I just think that Zach Plesac is a gas can too. And I think he's a guy here that, in his career, his 7% K rate against Houston batters. It's a small sample size again, but he just can't get stuff by people. He's a low K rate overall in his career, even worse against Houston. And I think Houston's a good chance to attack someone like Plesac.
No, I agree with that. And make sure you go download the Sharp app too. All your sports betting needs, props. Dave and I both do content on the Sharp app as well. So we have props up there every single day for the NBA, MLB, free app to download, bet tracking, AI tools. Great team over there giving out pro picks every single day. Now, talking about some betting, Dave, I know it's early, but who are you looking to target as far as some bets go for Tuesday? A lot of different ways we can look at things, but where are you going? We got Burns with a nice number in Milwaukee, only a minus 135 favorite right now. And you got some other teams here, some dogs that could potentially pull up an upset. Any thoughts on an early look for sports betting?
Yeah, I kind of like Houston first 5-inning bet today. Sorry. And I just think they're a team that I had a show on Sunday and we attacked them on Sunday as well. And they were able to come through with us. Altuve back in the lineup. They're really getting after starting pitchers. Last year, they were the best hitting team in the majors. I think you're starting to see them catch back up to those teams at the top now with a healthy lineup. I like them to attack. I like their first 5-inning run line, as you can get it near 120. You can shop around for that. Money line, you're going to pay a little bit more, and that's okay too. You can kind of, it depends how confident you are. The money line, hey, you get a tie, you get out of there, you get your money back. So I like that. And Jason, I'm with you with San Diego and Milwaukee. Milwaukee's a good team, second best record in the NL. Burns out there. San Diego had a little bit of a road trip, just getting back. I think it's quite a good possibility to get a low number on Burns versus a team that the betting market really respects, and that's San Diego. So I tend to like to take good pitchers versus San Diego and get a discount. And I think I'm going to do that as well tomorrow with Burns.
Yeah, I like both those calls. Not official for me yet. I want to do some more digging throughout the day on Tuesday. So I'm going to be placing my bets in our expert chat at windailysports.com. Been pretty hot, but one line I'm looking at, look, I'm a Met fan, but I think Bassett is a better pitcher at this point. The Mets are a hotter team. Giants are struggling to hit. The Mets are smashing right now, winning a lot of games. They're getting plus money behind Bassett, around plus 112 right now. So I'm going to look at that. There's one other dog, too, that I haven't penciled in yet. I want to do some more digging, like I said, throughout the day on Tuesday. I want to see these lineups roll out, but keep your eye on the Red Sox, man. They're a hot team right now. Pavetta's coming off a couple good starts here, going against the White Sox and Cease. And Cease is, K-ing everybody's, but he's letting earn runs up. And I think Boston may get to him. So those are the 2 spots I'm going to look at. They're plus 140. I see him at plus 145 in spots. So I'm not jumping on either of these 2 bets yet, but I'll give out my official bets up on Twitter at Win Daily Sports or in our expert chat at windailysports.com. So make sure you check us out on both of those outlets. Like and subscribe to the channel. Good luck on your Tuesday games. Good luck in the NBA and MLB. And make sure you check out our lineup optimizer, projection models, and all the data that we give out over at windailysports.com. We are out of here. Everybody have a happy and profitable Tuesday.